WIFTV-PM.
AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago. AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago. AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to last, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve us.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go.
When is my people gon' stop that hate? Look in the mirror, realize you great. But we always argue with our brothers, but his others gon' take our place. Stay in tune and stay on top. About who for us and about who not. Just green light the black economy. Then watch all the shooting gon' stop. To my black people in power, just remember who put you in power. If you really wanna save all the black princesses, be Mario or not Bowser. They gave us a hard job. We gon' make it if we do it together. Divided before we gotta evolve. We confidence you with it before you started. With no confidence in the people, we always gon' be the
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go. What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Who's telling the lies? Who's telling the truth? Black people realize device. See what melanin do. What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it. On the count of 3, let's go.
I love being black. I love being black. May say it. I love being black. I say it. I love being black.
Now, the one thing that everyone seems to have forgotten here tonight.
AM 1570 WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
This is the only thing that this country responds to is power. Economic power and political power.
WIFTBPM.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that... Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
End of the phone every day making dedications to my girlfriend who's in school while I'm out. You know, that just inspired me just as a street kid, you know, living, you know, from Inglewood, you know, Inglewood and Cabrini Green, you know,
right.
back and forth.
Chicago famous, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Why
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to last, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around that can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve them.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention. You gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it. On the count of 3, let's go.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host. I think I got a co-host. His name is Todd. Floating in, sliding in under the base, breaking stuff. All right.
Up the plate as long as I could.
Can you take my headphones down just a little bit? All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Bring it back up. Bring it up just a little bit for me in my headphones. All right, Todd. Man, bro, what? You having issues, man? Is the cat?
I was just trifling today.
See how black people do you. See, that's how you know, right? When you ballin', you be like, you know what, Todd came in with his sweatshirt. I mean his jogging suit ties. What you doing these days, man?
No glasses on.
No glasses on. What you driving with no glasses?
I put my contacts in, which probably threw me off a little bit too.
Are you one of those aim and miss guys?
No, I'm really good at this.
Okay, so so I think you might have. So what happened?
Well, first I just kind of laid in bed for a while. Then I couldn't find my glasses, and I was like, man, I can't turn the lights on.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you what. That's my man, Todd Stroger. He is in the building. I figured you probably just stayed up a little later than you were usually because you were in it. You were watching the vice presidential debates.
Have you ever had a night terror?
What the hell is a night terror?
That's where you're lying in bed and then you feel like you're awake but you can't move, and it's like you feel like there's something in the room but you can't move to find it. I don't know if I feel like I'm in terror or scared, but I have been in that state where it's like I can feel everything and I can actually see. I've been times when I feel like I'm watching everybody and I can hear, but I'm not able to wake up and shake it off. But I don't know if I've been scared, so I don't know if it's been terror, but I do know what you mean. Yeah. Well, it usually happens like in the middle of the night where it's dark, so you're like, I can't move. I think that's where the terror comes. It's not like you think there's a demon in the room. But
okay, but you just can't move and it's dark and it's like,
yeah,
the boogeyman. Blah.
I haven't had that since I've been an adult. But
okay, well,
before I got married.
So if you did you have one last night or something?
No, but I saw it on a TV show I was watching, and I thought, man, that's interesting. I'm gonna bring that up somehow.
Okay, well, I see how you did that. You just took the shoehorn and put it right on in there.
That's right.
All right, that is my man Todd Stroger. Sonia Escobar, how you feeling this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. We are still missing our dear Ruthie Moore, who is out there saving the people, saving the children. Hey, Todd, were you in the car? Did you hear the new song?
No.
All right, can you hear it in your headphones right there?
I don't like it already.
Well, you know what, Todd? You gotta listen to it, man.
I never liked that style. This kind of I make fun with my kids and my wife. I make fun of guys like Drake and that dead monotone thing. I never really caught that.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. Our new theme song is pretty cool. Shout out to Tiger Lily.
I'll have to listen to the whole thing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. When you know you love a song. Like a song, because when you hear your name in it, right?
Your name's in this?
Your name's in it.
Todd?
Like, so yeah, it's like Maze, Todd, Ruthie, Sonia.
It's like all of us.
Well, all of a sudden, I love this song.
I'm telling you, once you hear your name, you're always like,
That's right.
hey, that's my song. All right, man. Well, you know what? When we come back, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more. We're gonna talk about the headlines. We're gonna talk about the debate, and get this thing on the road. Hey, well, you know what? Since Todd is here, let's get this thing up to 60. Wait, fathership. We're going to space and back. Where we going? Mars, Pluto, Jupiter. I think we're headed to Jupiter today. Jupiter back in 3 hours. We'll make it. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
Hey y'all, this is Salim Muwakil from Muwakil's World. In case you missed the last discussion, this is what you missed.
There was a time when there was a large-scale mythology that African people had no endurance. We were only good for sprinting.
Right.
And that was our forte. Other than that, we were useless in marathon races. Establishing your patrimony on the land. If you bury the dead, that means that this land is forever in your family.
Who are our ancestors, really? We are the living ancestors to a whole genealogical line going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years that we carry within us living today. Everyone who preceded us. Mm-hmm. You know, however, that conception took place, whether it was violently, with rape, or whatever the case, but we are them living today.
That's why it's important to understand our capacity, man. Our capacity is unlimited. We have unlimited potential.
Absolutely.
So make sure you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media.
He is joining Chicago famous Mr. Rick Party.
I remember meeting the Brat before she was big. We were going to Jack the Rapper conference in Atlanta.
Jack the Rapper again.
So she's sitting, waiting for a plane. She got her braids in her hair, got her overalls on, and she saw me walk up to the gate. She's like, Rick's Party, oh my God! She's doing all of that. I said, well, who are you? She goes, I'm the Brat. I'm a new rapper from the, I live on the West Side. I'm with Social Def. I'm about to meet Jermaine Dupri. I did some on Chris Cross's song. I think it was the Bomb or something like that? Or
Right.
Yeah. She did some on there. So that was my introduction to her. So she would come back to my show every now and then and help me introduce the Coke Top 99. I remember we played a home jam and had people judge her song, right? And some people were like, it's all right, it's okay. And she's like, yo,
Wow.
Straight West Side, man. It was crazy.
Straight West Side.
Yeah, so.
Chicago famous, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTBPN. I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Maze Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Maze Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger.
And if you didn't listen yesterday, Maze is a celebrity. He was interviewed.
Hey, man, shout out to
And I think I'm addicted to Coca-Cola, so it's your fault.
You know what, Todd? It probably is, though, because we did supply the 8th Ward picnic. And I know we don't call it that now, but it was the 8th Ward. Man, can I tell you what? I ain't gonna. I know the papers made a big deal about it, but I must tell you that the first time I came to the 8th Ward picnic and y'all had them toilets, I was like, "What the?"
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah.
what are these?" I had never seen outdoor bathrooms that were like straight up. Like I felt like they made it like black. It was like we had a touch of what the white folks had, and they was like, "Oh, what?
Yeah, right.
There go again. What's the nigga doing on that nag?" Like that's my new thing. Sonia, we gonna have to find that and clip that, cause that is almost what I feel like is the epitome of how white folks think about us. Like, what are black people doing? What are they doing knowing about our stuff?
Right.
And how dare they have it?
Yes, because it's ours.
Write a newspaper article about that. Then you go to their stuff and they got all the same. You know what?
But they deserve it.
They expect. It's like you couldn't have an outhouse. They was like they need the outhouse.
Yes.
You know, it's so funny how we allow. I must tell you, Todd. I was just, and this is gonna go way off the train, but I was just telling you that I was just thinking my image of your family until I became a member of the 27th Ward Democratic organization was shaped through the newspaper. And so when I first heard about that story, it was kind of like, oh my God, this is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go and you see like, no, dang, we got it's not really like that. It's like, It's like you got families out there, you want to take care of your people, it's fine. It's like these white guys got they got Mike Madigan, I still got to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Madigan represents 45 of the largest buildings downtown, and they got mad at y'all for having toilets. And then the irony of J.B. Pritzker being willing to take the toilets out of his house. It's
Man,
just
who thought we'd have this much toilet talk in the morning?
So what you potty mouth.
Yeah,
all right, let's move on. All right, look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Hey, check this out. Black Girl Magic shined last night. Did you get your spring? Excuse me. What was it? What'd she say? I'm talking. Don't know. What'd she say? Wait, what was it she said? Well, I'm speaking. I like that. Todd. When you interrupt me from now on, my whole thing is gonna be. So it's gonna have. I'm speaking.
No, if you get that.
I'm
polite,
speaking. I'm
like,
speaking. I'm speaking.
I'm gonna be immediately injured. I'm leaving.
Excuse me. I'm speaking.
Sonia, I'm buying.
I just felt like they was beating up. She was beating up Grandpa. She was beating up on Grandpa, and I just don't know if Grandpa. You know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Hey, man, tonight, Tom Terrific in the... One day when we super huge,
wow,
Tom Brady is going to be here.
Actually, Tom Terrific is Tom Seaver, so...
Not now. Not in my... That's how that according to... Just like to the Generation Ys, they're going to be like Megan Thee Stallion and Malcolm were like homies. That's how it's gonna be. Just like you, like Tom Terrific is who? Tom Seaver. Are you crazy?
He played for the Sox too.
I remember when he played for the Sox. He had some good times at the Sox too.
He did.
He wrapped up some. Didn't he put up some final numbers while he was with the Sox?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that was his end of his career, and they got to the playoffs and fell apart.
Yeah, story of our life,
isn't it?
All right. How about this, man? The aldermen, Northside aldermen, want to open the playgrounds because the kids need to play too.
I saw that, but I also heard how in like the Dakotas, North and South, and Utah, COVID is taking a spike where before it didn't do anything. But you know why? It's because, in my estimation from 1,000 miles away, is that when it didn't really take over, they were like, well, we won't have any restrictions. Just do whatever you want. And now it's caught up to them.
I thought it was just the fact that they told us we were going to start having a spike during this time of the year. If you recall back to the old.
Yes, but the spike is because you start lifting your restrictions as you try to get back into normal life, and then people started walking around and just doing normal stuff and spreading all over.
So they stopped worrying about the science, sort of like when the mayor opened up the city and said,
I
know, sort of like what I'm just saying, I think, and that's why we got the North Side Playground. See, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, so I'm not going to even beat this story up. I'm going to let this one, we're going to let that marinate a little bit. All right, how about this one? The scare tax is getting pushed back. I have renamed it. It is no longer the fair tax. We hereby on the Maze Jackson Show have now rechristened it the scare tax.
Hear ye.
Oh, say ye. You know what? When I come back, I'm going to go get my gavel. You know I got a gavel out there, right, Todd?
Yes, I saw the gavel.
I'm going to go get the gavel, and we are going to declare the fair tax the scare tax. And speaking of scared, do you see they punked the treasurer? The governor's office punked the treasurer. So the treasurer way back in June, off the cuff, answered the question when they asked him, does this open the door to the taxing of retirement income? And he said yes.
What he should have said was, I don't know.
Well, see, that's what he learned the hard way. Because the governor's office, we got gangsters in the governor's office, right? So they went over and threatened to pull his throat between his neck and choke him out forever and dash all of his hopes of ever being
the governor.
Not the governor, a senator, a congressman, anything. They was
He's got hopes, that's for sure.
Right. He has aspirations, and they was like, if you say one more word. So he had a press conference scheduled 2 days ago. And right, like 2 minutes before he's supposed to come out, the governor's office is saying they didn't tell him to cancel, but it's like he canceled. Because here's the thing. I think the scare tax is sliding off of the... No, Ricky Hendon said it best. Where there's nobody that really trusts government right now. Like, really... I honestly think you probably could have gotten me to bite on the scare tax if there was a semblance of change, right? If there was a semblance of some sort of difference in JB that made him trustworthy for us to go forward with this. I don't believe that anyone in the Democratic Party has done anything to establish trust within the party. And I think even all of this stonewalling with Madigan, and I think how we've just made it normal. I think people have now gotten to a point where they like, I don't care what you tell me, I don't trust nothing you say. And so they are trying all the scare tactics, all the Trumpism of the world and everything else has
do you think this is time for a constitutional convention?
I would not necessarily be opposed to a constitutional convention, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would not. I don't want a constitutional convention as long as Mike Madigan is still here, because I think a constitutional convention, as long as Mike Madigan is here, is only going to continue to have everybody count. I mean, you see, we are literally pretending like there was no federal investigation, guilty, not, and it's like the fact that everybody's okay with it, like, and complicit. Even if you're stonewalling, you are only building into my toxicity level, or what do they call it when you drink? My tolerance. Like my tolerance for BS is all the way gone. So it's like you can't call it fair after you just did me with the social equity plan, right? It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be right back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
and hang out with Chicago famous Mike Love and Diz 3 to 6 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media live on the Maze Jackson page. So shout out to Chicago famous. They did their thing. They did a phenomenal job. Those brothers, listen, radio legends, right? And you come in, you used to doing things one way and trying to flip it and do another way. They handled it seamlessly, man. So shout out to Mike Love and Diz for holding it down as they always have done. Welcome to the What's in It for the Black People Media family. Good luck at achieving number 2 status for the second best show on What's in It for the Black People Media, because number 1 is and always will be, I said what I said.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Whenever I play, I want to play to win. I don't see no purpose in playing.
You play to win the game.
What's the word?
In the famous
Can
words
you
of
beat
Herman.
my ass, though?
Can you whoop my ass, though?
It's really that simple. I don't plan on getting my ass whooped.
Hey, yo, wait a minute. Hey.
Chicago famous
Mike
ain't gonna whoop my ass.
and Chicago
We not
famous
here for no ass whooping.
Hey, yo, what's your problem, man? Y'all are brothers. You ain't supposed to be fighting each other.
We not here for no ass whooping.
That's not what we here for.
We're not here for no ass whooping.
It's not what we here for.
Not at all.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's in It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
We fun guy.
What's tomorrow?
Fun guy, what's up, baby?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, yo, what do you know?
You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in it for the Black People Media.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process? These matters and many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwakil's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Biggest threat to Illinois citizens from Washington is health care costs and policies. Senior citizens have their Social Security reduced from Medicaid, and some of our senior citizens live off $3 a week for food allowance. Working families are facing bankruptcy over policy and limit and costs. Drug prices require decision between food and Medicaid. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. Vote for me and send me to Washington. God bless.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
WIFTBPN. I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Maze Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Maze Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore, and we are on the fathership, better known as the Soul Play. You know, I can't retire the Soul Play. So we on the fathership, a.k.a. the Soul Play. New theme song. Check that out. Man, I you know what? One more time, shout out to my girl, Tiger, who emailed. Carrie last night was like, that's the new No Limit. What's in it for the black people? See, Todd, you was talking about it, but you heard Drake. We heard Master P.
Nah.
And I feel like this is the new No Limit of black media. Right? Like where we're at the ground floor of a movement to retake our narrative. I just keep thinking. I was telling you, Todd, and one of the things that I think I've even heard on from some of my other friends is that Todd is something that he's nothing like I thought he was. Right?
I got a knife in my back pocket.
Don't sit on it, man, and don't cut my seats.
You're right. These things were expensive.
you were shaped through the view of, to even black people, through the view of the Sun-Times, the Tribune. And I think of so many people that, like, when they first hear we're working together or doing something, they got something smart to say, right? Like, they got something slick to say. And then they be like, man, I didn't know Todd was this, that. And I feel like.
You know, my dad told me once.
Man, that wasn't a COVID cough, was it?
No.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly what he said because it was kind of 1950-ish. But
Tell him.
He said the first thing you do is you go up to him and you punch him in the mouth.
Well, I feel like this is why we have our opportunity to punch people in the mouth right here in the mornings. Not here in the mornings, right here on the network.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Todd, I think we're going to, starting in January, I want to see what's in it for the Black People news, evening news. So we want to be able to we're going to start auditioning some news anchors, some trusted people who can, some journalists. Because I don't purport to be a journalist.
Right.
I don't. I got straight opinions and I ain't backing off of them.
Right. In the news today.
Right, but I do think that it's important that as our next generation of young people grow up, that they have the opportunity to see us through our own eyes.
Yeah.
So can I tell?
And they have a place to grow up too.
Okay. Can I tell a story that I might have got in trouble? I'm gonna tell y'all. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. So I don't know if I don't know if I was being a chauvinist or offensive or whatever, but I yesterday at some point during the day, I'm not gonna say with who or when or why or how, but I mentioned that people needed to step up their dress. Now, I mentioned it sometimes I'm not as eloquent as Celine.
I get you.
But I also mentioned that we're visual. And I was thinking about why it's important.
That's why I wear better t-shirts.
I was thinking, and I don't want it to be a male or because I really think what I want people to do is wake up and see. Do you ever remember getting Ebony and Jet?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember opening it up and flipping through the pages and just seeing like black people like with stuff and fresh and
I mean, you go see who got married, you go see what was the music, you go see no, I wouldn't go see who the Jet
Beauty of the Week is.
No, I didn't do that. But
I said I was gonna bring the whiff of Beauty of the Week back. Carrie was like, I don't think that's a good idea. She was like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. But what I want people to do when they turn on the What's in It for the Black People media channel is to see like almost like a black Ebony Jet. And like I want you to get news, information, gossip, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, because you know when I think about it, because you know I was young at some point, I'd go see who got married. I don't know these people,
right? But you still went to go see, and and it was like a celebration of us.
Yeah.
And so as we try to round this out, I want. So that's why. So this isn't a shameless pitch for clothing sponsors, but
it is.
It is.
You see what I'm wearing, right? You can help me. You can help me.
But I do think that I want the morning show to have a look and a feel, and I want people that are Ruthie's peers.
All right, I'll brush my hair.
I'm dying already.
But I do want I want to showcase us in the best. I mean, you know what makes me talk about this? Because when I'm here the rest of the day, I'm watching us on big screen TV. And I think I look at every single detail. I'm like, oh, get that out of the camera. And I'm like, you know, good. If Tennille was here in the morning, boy, she'd be slapping us around. But as I think about it, I just want us to be like I want, if your kids are watching the TV, and that's why I'm trying to work on the language. But after we after 6, after 9.
Yeah, after 9.
Right after 9, we're after 6. But even Dawn is working on that. Like
even Dawn.
taking it. But taking it out, not just because we can, but taking that out so that when our kids are walking past the TV,
right,
they can see themselves and have aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
And as the fellas get dressed in the morning, and you know what I'm saying, as you don't have, right now there's not a lot of motivation to do anything, right? You ain't got to get dressed. You ain't got to wear pants.
I'd have to lose weight to fit in some of those suits, man.
Well, that's why we're going to get us a clothing sponsor at some point. But again, that's why I want, like, when people come and they see the colors and they sit down and so I really just hope that.
See, I'm dressed this way. I serve them tea and open the door.
But I just want us to, and I want us to be the showcase of best in Chicago. So I'm going to tell you, like, that, the song that we have, it was proud. I said, like, when, and I'll use his name, Tom Joyner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Tom Joyner has the Tom Joyner more, and then everybody does their version of it, and they, I want to do all of that. Like,
now I have a song. I think it's the greatest song in the world.
What?
Now that we have a song.
Man, right. That's my point.
Yeah.
But I want, like, What's in It for the Black People Media to be a black, just explosion of just black stuff.
This is us.
Right. We even got this crazy show coming up. Well, first of all, shout out to Neil is launching her podcast. She really wants to be a podcaster. Mm-hmm. She's not really interested in the video component of it. But
I get it.
Saturday,
I told Hans I was going to do a podcast. And he was like, "No, you should do a vlog." I'm like, "I don't want to do a vlog."
You need to go with Neil, but you should do. Todd, I do think you would have some interesting perspectives to just be able to talk without
filter.
Excuse me. I'm talking. I'm speaking. Excuse me. I'm speaking.
I'm leaving, Sonia.
Excuse me. I'm speaking. But I do want to push. I just want us to put, like, I right now we have 171 live viewers.
Mm-hmm.
That's live. Oh my God! Don't let me forget. Hold on, because YouTube is crack-a-lacking. Right now on YouTube, hold on. Did that say we got 200 live viewers? No, it's 112. 113 on YouTube. So imagine you got 300 people in a room and you are appearing in front of them. What would you look like? Now, are we going to do everything, Sandra? We're going to do, because Dawn is already planning Spirit Week. So, like, we're going to have sweatshirt day, hoodie day. We're going to have, and the morning show is going to win. Because we're just the greatest. And Sonia, you count for the morning show, just so all them they can talk all that Esco, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're gonna win Spirit Week, but we want, and I think we're gonna do. Todd, I know you was a hater last year, but we're doing Halloween this year. We're gonna do a Halloween costumes this year. You were a hater. Here, me and Sonia come in.
Prom anymore.
Huh?
He can't come to prom anymore.
Oh man, you banned from the prom. Todd was the teacher at the prom.
Yeah, right.
You're like the chaperone. 12 inches, please, ladies. All right, y'all. I know I went way off the tracks with that. Did you see Walgreens is going to spend $35 million rebuilding?
Rebuilding what?
The stores that got looted. They said 70 of 130-something stores got looted during the uprisings. And they're going to...
Well, that's more than half.
They're going to launch a new program called Health Equity. Uh-oh. $35 million program. Health Equity. I'm nervous.
Yeah, I wonder what that means.
You know what equity means in Chicago? Helping rich white people catch up with the richer white people. $35 million. Remember, I just want you to remember, Alderman David Moore organized the last time that Walgreens came through. Remember, they was rebuilding in the hood, and they didn't hire no black people.
Oh, I remember.
I do. Right. We got to find out that they ever resolved that. Alderman Moore, if you up, tell us. Make sure that you holding that $35 million. How many black millionaires will be made out of $35 million? Probably not made. How many of the $35 million will be recirculated in the black communities that they are being built back up in? They're gonna be like, you Negroes ain't supposed to get in them no way. You tore it up. That's what they're gonna say.
They may say that.
Well, I'm gonna tell. Shout out to Robbins, Illinois. You know I got family out in Robbins, Illinois.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. My family. I mean, they call it Mudville, and like they are Robbins to the end. Straight up, they straight. Let them say Robbins, right? Let them say Robbins, okay? You say Robbins, they like, you know how I say Bolingbrook? They almost worse than that. Shout out to the Bryants, my cousin David. But
I went to the Robbins anniversary. They had I guess it was 100 years. Maybe it was more than that. I don't remember, but anniversary maybe a couple of years ago.
Man,
it was nice.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Shout out to Mayor Tyrone Ward. You know what? I like Mayor Ward. I used to give him a hard time, but I do like him. He funny. He make me laugh. But shout out to Robbins. Shout out to President Tony Preckwinkle as well. They were distributing computers to Robbins probably definitely needs the computers.
Oh yeah.
Distributing those computers.
Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you?
What?
Yesterday was my 25th wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
How dare you just tell us that 25 years and you telling us, you know what?
Hey, but you know what?
Break. We'll talk about this. We're going to talk about this when we come back. We're going to talk about it.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Miss Ruthie Moore out saving the world. Shout out to Miss Sonia Escobar. Man. Two, we're going to talk about the debate at 7 o'clock. I'm doing some things out of order today. October 25th. Can I let you all know my world premiere on international TV? Nat Geo, City So Real, the world premiere. City So Real, if you don't know, it is a 5-hour documentary on the 2019 Chicago, was it 2019?
Yep.
2019 Chicago election, where they documented the run up to the win of Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Went through all the way through the primary. They did not cover the
general,
right? No. They covered the. No, they did not cover the general. They just did the primary, and then they did a 1 hour follow up. So it was 4 episodes. When I went to Sundance.
Where are you now?
Right. Well, that's exactly what it was. When I went to Sundance, it was 4 episodes.
You mean when you didn't bring me back a cowboy hat?
Oh man, there was no Cowboys, man. It was all kind of crazy stuff. Remember, it was the beginning of Corona. I brought you back a mask. Remember me and Carrie wore the mask on the planes, and she was so nervous. She was, "It's not you, it's me" on her mask. I was like, "Why are all the Chinese people getting off the plane with a mask, and the only people walking?"
I remember I was in Chinatown. I listened to the mayor.
I remember that. You were the
they was like, "It's
lamb.
a sale." Sonia was like, "What?
There's parking everywhere."
Dim sum for everyone. Man, it so dang, now you made me forget what I was talking about. What was I talking about?
The premiere.
Oh, so the premiere of City So Real. That's right. Dang, see? The premiere of City So Real, October 25th, 5-hour docuseries. Todd.
What'd you say was coming on?
Nat
put this on
Geo.
my calendar.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, trust me. We're going to do more than put it on your calendar. There's going to be, we got some video we're going to be able to show you. Man, I saw, look, guys, where I'm featured in the first episode and then the last episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 1 hour with me, and then it's somebody. You got your sound on, Todd? Is that what's going on? Because I can hear somebody's music in here.
I'm not sure, but
I think that was you.
Okay.
Anyway, you know when the light goes down, when you push the button and it goes down, it's you. But I'm gonna tell you, this City So Real is gonna be crazy. So what's crazy is I was a little like, dang, I only got 8 minutes in the second series, but if it's on in the final hour, but 8 minutes out of an hour is like
8 minutes is a long time.
A lot. Let me tell y'all what. You aren't in it. Sonia Escobar, you in it. Ooh.
I'm not in it. I'm not watching that.
Tennille, you know what? Me and Tennille, we're gonna have to have us a conversation.
Uh-oh.
You know how you over here and you doing your thing and you think you're doing your thing and it's like you're doing your thing and your team is, and so I'm saying all this stuff and Tennille is over here like, psst, but that's what he said. That's what you see it say May said, not what Tennille said. I was like, ain't this a but I'm going to tell you, they documented the origins of What's in It for the Black People Media. They were with me when we made the decision to sign the deal and start the new show on the new station. Mm-hmm. They actually documented our first day. Sonia, they got you with remember we had the chair on the crates? Right? Yeah. When we first started. Was you here, Todd, when we had the chair on the crates?
Man, you missed a couple of days. You missed everything.
Yeah, Sonia. Well, that's when we broadcasted over there. You remember we were broadcasting over there. Uh-huh. Well, before you got here, we were on crates over there.
Oh, my gosh.
The whole
audio quality wasn't the best.
Oh, my God. It was crazy.
Sad.
Right? And we was like the Keystone Cops putting the sound together. But it was crazy. And it's to see how far I was like, man, what's going to be crazy for you and everybody else who watches it, who sees what we have now, it's going to be like, damn, y'all came a long way in 3 months. Mm-hmm. Like a very, very long way. So you all make sure you get ready for City So Real. There'll be a few events. There will be a October 25th, a 5-hour premiere. Then the next day it'll be available on Hulu, and it'll be replays on Nat Geo. Hey, y'all, I'm going to be on TV.
They should come back.
Huh?
They need to come back.
You know what? This is what we need to do us. Because you know what? I was just going to say, you know what, Todd? I did 4 hours of interview with Salim, and I never even finished. I never even got to the day.
Yeah, I think I walked out of the car, and it was probably like, it was close to noon, so I didn't hear the end.
Man, we never even got to the end. I skipped over so much. I really do want to do a book. Like, I really do want to write this book. It's just, you know how you used to have a writing assignment? Mm-hmm. You know, if you probably could write 20 pages if anybody didn't tell you had to write 20 pages. I probably could write 500 pages if they didn't tell me I had to write 500. But then you're like, dang, I'm only on 6. So then after you get to page 7, you go back to see how many pages did I get, right?
Well, you know, you can dictate your and then have it written out later.
See, you're so smart, Todd. You is kind. Did you see when they said that about Joe Biden yesterday? Kamala said, Joe is smart. He is kind. I was like,
I had a true Uncle Joe feel the way she was talking about him.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna tell you. Well, we're gonna talk about it, but I must let you know. I must let you know that it was very clear that she was on a very short leash about what she could hit. What I felt like we were looking at was they did not want to what Kamala Harris had to do was make sure that she did not put on display the Harris administration.
Right. It's like when I went out to represent Howard Brookins once, and there was a block that just didn't seem to like him, and they were like, "Well, we want new lights and this and that," and I was like, I'll bring that back, but I can't say yes, and they were all mad at me. Why can't you say yes?
Well, that's because you were the epitome of a middle manager. You know what a middle manager is?
What?
A person who can tell you no but cannot tell you yes.
I guess that was me.
I'm gonna tell you, I can't wait to talk about this debate. Admittedly, I am a disgruntled Democrat. I'm gonna start there and say that I am undecided. I am undecided as
I think there's a pretty good group of you. I'm not gonna say it's a overwhelming group, but I think it's a pretty good group of you guys.
And I am holding my as Jesse White would say, keep your powder dry, soldier.
Right.
I'm keeping my powder dry because as the election gets closer, the pandering or the attempts to sway the undecideds will increase.
Mm-hmm.
That stated, I think Kamala Harris did a good job under the circumstances, considering that neither of them really answered any questions. I think that she represented well. I think in law, the first thing is do no harm.
Right.
Right? And I think let's start with the fact that she definitely did no harm. Was it Black Girl Magic? I don't know. When we come back, I'm about to, as Mike Brown would say, I'm about to trigger you. We're going to talk about the debates when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
WIFTV-PM. AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black group-led organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000 dead bodies in our country, American lives that have been lost, families that...
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done.
People? This is Herb Howard, one half of I Said What I Said. Make sure you tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on What's In It for the Black People Media. It is intellectual thuggery at its finest. The Blackest Conversation, Herb Howard, Tucson Warner, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on What's In It for the Black People Media. 1 to 3 p.m.
We fun guy.
What's tomorrow?
Fun guy, what's up, baby?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, you already know.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's In It for the Black People Media presents...
I want to go higher. Oh, my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's In It for the Black People Media.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's In It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve us.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Need some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger.
I'm going to make this my Maze Jackson ringtone.
Make it your Todd Stroger ringtone, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
what do I call myself?
Oh, you know what? That's true. All right, yeah. You know what, Todd? I'm going to tell you what. Shout out. I need names and titles and all that good stuff. Somebody hit me in the inbox. Let me know what the... Because that's Chicago. So first of all, the fact that somebody would take the time to sit down and... Because, Todd, can I tell you this is a whole 3-verse song?
3 verses? Wow,
it's
that's
3 whole verses.
I don't think I know 3 verses of anything in the world.
Well, you're going to learn this one. Look, I'm going to pledge you. I'm going to be like, Todd, verse 3! Man, I remember when we used to play when we was pledging, and they'd be like, give us the 3rd verse of the Black National Anthem. You'd be like, dang, man.
There's a 3rd verse?
See, you be tripping, man. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host. Is Remy? Is that Remy S featuring Young Sage? All right, shout out to Remy S featuring Young Sage for the What's In It for the Black People theme song. Doing our thing. Look, and we ain't even getting flagged by the book. You know what I was just thinking? I want black people to start singing and submitting to us What's In It for the Black People Media. Like, sing What's In It for the Black People Media and record it. Mm-hmm. And we can just, you know, like in the breaks, be like, this is what's in it for the black people. Right? You know what I mean? Like, and we can, and you know what? I feel like we're going to need a Chicago music division, an original music division, where you can get. So my thing is, if we got 5 million views, 5 million reach of 5 million, 5. Wait a minute, reach of 600,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
If we start playing local music, we can make our own. See what I mean? Then we can have our own Chicago hit list.
Uh-huh.
Not Chicago hit list like outfit hit list. I know what y'all are thinking.
Yeah,
I mean a hit list.
I think
like,
we could change that name a little bit, but yes.
But you see how it outsprings, and then we can have the top 20 black songs from Chicago.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I'm telling you. Shout out to the Bigs too. They'll be in today. You know the Bigs are gonna start doing a Sunday show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a Sunday pregame show.
Oh, good. They can...
So you're like, who said we working on Sundays? That's why I'm learning. I'm gonna learn the board, right? Because we're gonna do a Sunday morning pregame show.
Maybe they can help me with my fantasy football then.
Well, that's the whole point, right? Everybody, think about at 11:30. You still trying to figure out your last players, your lineup.
Right.
The thing is, the Bigs get the inside information and they talk to the black players, so they can get this. Telling you, man, Todd, what's in it for the black people media? We're going to take over the world.
The world!
All right, speaking of the world was watching last night as we saw what I still believe was what could have been the most consequential vice presidential debate in our history.
There's no such thing.
I would essentially tend to agree with you.
You know what? The only thing I remember about any vice president debate is when I can't even remember his name, when the general said to the Indiana guy, I knew Jack Kennedy and you know John Kennedy. Yeah, that's the only thing I ever remember.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Vice President. I knew Jack Kennedy, and you, sir, are no Jack Kennedy. Yeah. That was
and they lost that election.
That was Quayle.
That was Quayle, right?
And who was that? Not Mondale.
No.
Not Al Gore. Okay, well, we'll have to figure it out. Anyway, so Todd, I was let me say that I agree with you in that I don't believe. Hold on, I got you. What I'm gonna say is that I would ordinarily say that, but what I saw was, my thought is that what America had was a preview of which direction our country will go in the future. And I said this before, that I believe that it was a physical manifestation of the browning of America. And when I looked at it, and I tried to look at it, I looked at it through the eyes of a frustrated Democrat, disgruntled Democrat. I also looked at it through, obviously I can't look at it through the eyes of a white person, but what I did do is watch. I got a friend that I grew up in Bolingbrook with. His name is Nick, right? And Nick, it's like, I know Nick. We know who each other are. We don't apologize for who we are, right? We just don't. But we grew up together, so we cool. So I feel like Nick is like the perfect example of a white suburban voter, husband of a white suburban woman voter. And so one of the things he said that yesterday, and remember I said that Chicago, I said you have to watch because people are going to want to know, white folks going to see if she's kind of sassy, sister girl, kind of, they watching. And I said, I looked at that like Grandpa Mike, white people calling Grandpa Mike versus Kamala Harris.
Really, I didn't know he had that kind of a.
No, Grandpa, white-haired gentleman.
Yeah.
Who lives in Indiana. Grandpa Mike, who I went to go see every summer. I love my grandpa. He's a racist, but he is my Grandpa Mike. He is, right. He's Grandpa Mike.
Yeah.
I'm going to love him for who he is. That's what I saw. So what I told you, I thought that Kamala Harris had to be careful of because she has to, the coast she's got, Chicago, like liberal bastion she's got. But what the battle is these people in the Midwest and kind of in these battleground states. And I said that she had to be careful about appearing uppity. Now, that's a black word and we know what that means. Right?
Right.
We know what uppity means. And white folks ain't going to say it out loud. But I always tend to take a look at my guy, Nick, when I want to know how white America is interpreting something that we're all seeing.
I get that.
Right? Because he's not going to give you anything that can allow you to say he's racist. He's just going to point out his observations as a member of the American people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, Pence talked a lot about to the American people. Okay? He said Kamala was smug. Now,
is that a code word for uppity?
Now, I'm going to say that I didn't need to hear anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he got into a string of debates. Literally within a thread, there were 23 comments inside of a thread addressing the smug comment.
Mm-hmm.
And people were going back and forth and blah, 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 blah. And I really, at the point in which I heard the smug, I knew my concern about Kamala was going to take out all my preconceived notions.
Mm-hmm.
Smug, when you heard smug, what did that connotate to you? If you hear a white person say that a woman of color, is smug, what do you interpret that to mean?
That means that how dare you think that you have an intelligent thing to say to me? You cannot be on that level.
Like when I got the nigga deal.
Right.
But that's a whole nother point because I'm not so now I'm watching the exchange between the Kamala people and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
They was already like, oh, Maze, you might as well just go and vote for Trump. Tell everybody you vote for Trump. I'm like, I'm undecided. And the fact that I could be attacked for being an undecided black man in a world like this is hilarious to me. But I'm okay with that. Because I'm really just watching this exchange between Nick and the black people who are now trying to excoriate him for what he sees. But I keep saying to myself...
So Nick is sort of pro-Trump?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he voted for Obama in 2008.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, he's good for me now forever.
No, hold on. He voted for Obama in 2008.
I know, but I need
for a lot of white. I know you did. For a lot of white folk who did that, right? That's when the margin closed between Mitt Romney. I really was looking yesterday for the clip because do you remember J.B. Pritzker when he said he wasn't sure if he was going to vote for Obama in 2012?
He said, I don't remember that.
Yeah. They asked him, was he voting for Obama? And remember, Obama was not super popular in the second go-round. There was stuff going on, right? And remember, he didn't win by, a landslide against Mitt Romney. He won, and he won convincingly. But what I'm suggesting is, and I remember distinctly, and I mean, J.B. Pritzker got the ability to just bury stuff on social media. Like, so I was Googling because I distinctly remember him being like, I feel like Kennedy used it in the ad. Right? Are you going to vote for President Obama? I'm not sure. We'll still have to take that under consideration, right? Whoa, how times change. But my point there was for black folks, and what I also think sometimes for black folks they should pay attention to is not so much it's not what you mean, it's how it's received. Right?
Right.
And I think I left all the head bouncing and, I think they really had to work with Kamala. She was like the person who was like, every time the teacher got a question and the thing, she want to be like, ooh, but her mama said stop, right? And so she was trying to hurry up and prove, right?
Uh-huh.
I think all things, knowing that I am biased, right? I think she did a yeoman's job yesterday. I think she did. She did not hurt her candidate. She did not. And I think she stayed on message. And I think for someone who is still undecided, I don't think she convinced me. And I think she may have lost me at it. Not lost me, but I think she needs a better reason. If they want to get black men out, I think they got to come up with a better answer on the criminal justice piece, because I thought it was pretty crazy that Mike Pence could attack her on criminal justice and her defense was kind of weak. Look, when we come back, we're going to talk about Kamala Harris, her strengths, her weaknesses. Then we'll go into Mike Pence's strengths and weaknesses, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines because I want to hear what you all thought. Hey, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I'm running for U.S. Senate for the state of Illinois. I will never give up on inclusion and equality, prison reform, reduced property taxes, and economic opportunity for all. I want to get to know your neighborhood and the problem that you face every day. And I want to serve every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
And you can tell them, Maze said, we want to know what's in it for the black people.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
Now you can join Milwaukee's World on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1 on What's in It for the Black People Media.
What's up, good people? This is Herb Howard, one half of I Said What I Said. Make sure you tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. right here on What's in It for the Black People Media. It is intellectual thuggery at its finest. The blackest conversation, Herb Howard, Tucson Warner, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on What's in It for the Black People Media, 1 to 3 p.m.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger. Miss Ruthie Moore saving the kids. Sonia Escobar on the wheels. Okay, let me just say that. Not that we were ever, not that black folks or anybody ever gets distracted, but did you see the fly? There was apparently a fly.
Yes, because there was memes all over Facebook about it.
I know, man. We be focused, boy. We be focused. That fly won the debate. I ain't gonna even lie. Like, honestly, if you had to declare a winner, it was the fly. They got the fly has probably got the most. It's probably trending. Probably number one trending topic.
Probably is.
Also, I was watching some of the debate recap, and hopefully Sonia will get my video. If it hasn't come, it might have been too big, so I'll have to figure out a different way to get it to you. But, matter of fact, maybe I can email it to you. But Kamala Harris, she came out swinging. She came out the gate banging. But I'm going to tell you that probably where she was the strongest was when she talked about COVID-19 and the administration's response. Sonia, do we have some audio from her on that? Let's listen to that.
Whatever the vice president is claiming the administration has done, clearly it hasn't worked. When you're looking at over 210,000 dead bodies in our country, American lives that have been lost, families that are grieving that loss. And you know, the vice president is the head of the task force and knew on January 28th how serious this was. And then thanks to Bob Woodward, we learned that they knew about it. And then when that was exposed, the vice president said, when asked, well, why didn't y'all tell anybody? He said, because the president wanted people to remain calm.
Well, let's get
but Susan, this is important.
Susan,
I want to add, if Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Yeah, you can have 15 more seconds, and then we'll give the vice president a chance to
So
respond.
I want to ask the American people, how calm were you when you were panicked about where you're going to get your next roll of toilet paper? How calm were you when your kids were sent home from school and you didn't know when they could go back? How calm were you when your children couldn't see your parents because you were afraid they could kill them?
I feel like she was putting it down. At that moment, she was in her light, you know how she was having black girl magic. I'm gonna tell you. I know it was black women all over, like, get him, sis, get him. I mean, I think she is a prosecutor, skilled. She conveyed herself very well. The biggest thing again, Grandpa Mike. Remember, everybody's watching Grandpa Mike. We're not talking about Trump now. We're talking about Grandpa Mike. Grandpa Mike, who took you to go pick apples. She was very strong, and I think that the administration, I think that is clearly their Achilles heel. But you know what my best part is?
Man, he ain't no grandpa. When I look at him, I think
Todd,
I'm speaking.
Thank you.
He may be a grandpa, but he's like, I came back from the war and I still got my M16. And if those black people try to do too much,
if they get on my, don't cut.
Speaking.
Don't cross the gun line, boss. But you know, now here goes how that works. Let me tell you how it worked in Bolingbrook. Grandpa Mike, people used to come to the
everybody had the Grandpa Mike there?
Everybody had their Grandpa Mike, and even though the grandpa they might hang out with the brothers when Grandpa Mike was at work. They still love Grandpa Mike.
Oh yeah,
because Grandpa Mike took them to Dairy Queen. Grandpa Mike, and you know, it's like you can talk all the smack and you can they can say whatever they want to say about Grandpa Mike. You, on the other hand, cannot say Grandpa Mike.
Right.
So, did that video come? No, it did not. So here, let me see if I could do something. I'm gonna try and do it this way, because, But if I share the screen, you won't get the audio. Oh, you'll get the audio if I share the screen? Okay, let me share the screen, because I think. So Todd, I think the telltale sign to all of this, though, and I tell you, you got to watch the white women. You got to watch the white. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to watch the white women. Because Ooh, no drinking in the studio. The white women are tricky.
Yes, they are.
And so yesterday, okay, so Grandpa Mike, let me get back to Grandpa Mike. I want you to hear some audio that as they were recapping what happened yesterday on ABC News. Yesterday, let me bring it back. Hold on. So couple things. Ready? Let's go. That as they were recapping what happened yesterday.
Do you have Facebook Live on?
Whoa. Okay, so let me get that together. So, yeah, let me do this.
Well, here, I'll play the clip that I found really interesting, guys. Here it
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
All right. So let me get you this audio though, because I think it's really important that we as Black people pay attention to what happened when white women started talking about Kamala Harris. They really just ready go. Sonia, bring up the.
You can talk about her history and who she is.
Eli, all right, here we go. This was Martha Raddatz. This is Martha Raddatz.
Who is that?
She is the ABC commentator. She fills in for George Stephanopoulos. She does all the politics. But here is, because a lot of what happened. Remember when I told you about Grandpa Mike and how white women view him? Kamala has had a very careful line that had to walk a very fine line to make sure that she did not come off as smug or to the point of Black women saying that he overtalked her and how tough it was for her to be a woman in that space. Here is what white woman Martha Raddatz from ABC, who is very much, ABC in my estimation is very much leaning towards Trump. I mean towards Biden. Right? So let's be clear.
Talk about mansplaining and talk about these things with Kamala Harris, and a man shouldn't interrupt her and it's going to look bad. Kamala Harris is a vice presidential candidate. She should be able to stand up for herself. Yes, it's history making. Yes, you can talk about her history and who she is, and she's a woman of color there. But a man can interrupt another vice presidential candidate. It is up to that candidate to talk back, to interrupt themselves, or to hold on to that debate in any way they could.
No special treatment for you, negress. You don't be talking. I love Grandpa Mike. And so now let me go back to the next commentator from ABC yesterday, and you can hear, hold on, let me see. Let me let you hear what she had to say as well. All right.
A remarkable split screen that we saw and some of the facial expressions that Kamala Harris had as Vice President Mike Pence was talking. I mean, that really...
Grandpa...
The remarkable split screen that we saw and some of the facial expressions that Kamala Harris had as Vice President Mike Pence was talking. I mean, that really is going to be a big takeaway. I also want to go back to the remarkable...
Talk about mansplaining and talk about these things with Kamala Harris, and a man shouldn't interrupt her and it's going to look bad. Kamala Harris is a vice presidential candidate. She should be able to stand up for herself. Yes, it's
no special protection,
yes,
woman.
You can talk about her history and who she is, and she's a woman of color there. But a
we don't care if you black woman of color.
Presidential candidate. It is up to that candidate to talk back, to interrupt themselves, or to hold on to that debate in any way they could.
Stand up for yourself. We as white women ain't standing up for you. Did y'all hear that? You can take that out now. We can take that down. Y'all saw that? interesting? Nah, it is
interesting.
Them white women are tricky. I'm telling you, y'all putting it on. I'm just telling you. That was white Martha Radis and Latina Cecilia Cruz. Their takeaways were, you need to stand. There is no special protection for you. Don't nobody care that Mike Pence was standing up talking over you.
Right.
And what we're going to take away is those facial expressions. Remember? And she didn't do the sister girl. She did the bounce. But I'm going to tell you, I still think that Kamala Harris represented well. When we come back, we're going to talk about Mike Pence. Mike Pence, boy. Grandpa Mike. Talking to the American people. Appealing to the patriotism. We're going to be back right after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
The birthday line is, easily, or the birthday bash, whatever you want to call it.
Our hit record.
That's our hit record.
That's our hit record.
That's our one. That's my girl.
That's My Girl by the Temptations.
Like,
no matter where we go, we got to do that.
Ready to go down? Yes, we are. Come on, who's this on that birthday line?
It's Randy and Mimi.
And how old are you on this day?
I'm 14.
Go ahead. It's your birthday. Go ahead.
Definitely let out twins.
Where y'all from?
South.
Where y'all from?
Out of B.
Bad boy, gotta say about
I'd have been.
from WGCI. That's 3 down. 2 more.
Old projects.
Bill on the show called It's Your Birthday. Go, 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 go. Question.
Hey, she doing the question.
No more to go. Done with the show cause it's your birthday. Hey, let that play.
It took that.
I'm tired just listening to that.
Chicago Famous, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
We fun guy.
What's tomorrow?
Fun guy, what's up, baby?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, yo, what do you
You know what
know?
I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIFTBPM.
I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Maze Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Maze Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd, Stroger, and Todd.
Yes.
Kamala Harris. I think she represented well for her team yesterday. Yesterday Carrie called and said, "What are we gonna have for our debate meal?" I started to order Indian food.
Man, I would like some Indian food. I haven't had that in a bit.
Oh God. I changed my mind. We had home run in with we had a barbecue chicken pizza, add pepperoni. It was so good.
Mm.
I'm telling you.
I believe you, but I'll never know.
Why?
I'm not eating that.
Why not?
Well, that's not right.
It is good. It's great, man. Barbecue
But it's not
chicken
right.
pizza. Boy, I'm gonna tell you what. Let me just say, I think they all skipped. Nobody answered really any question.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, and I think I was waiting for some Kamala zingers. I didn't really get a lot of zing. The best thing I got was, the best one I got, and I think
speaking.
Yeah, that one. that. But I also feel like that I'm speaking like my good friend Nick says, that was kind of smug. I remember Nick's white.
Mm-hmm.
Suburban. Lives on Michigan Avenue. Oop, let me stop. Lives downtown, but saw his neighborhood thrashed to pieces.
So you're saying Nick has a predisposition to want to vote for Pence?
No, he is one of the American people that Mike Pence addressed nonstop. American people.
Mm-hmm.
American people, the people that put America first, that are proud to be American.
That's that silent majority.
Who recognize that we are from America. And the president, none of us.
You know, if you say America that many times, what you're really saying is America is white.
The American people who believe in all of the greatness of America. Whiteness. And the American people can get through anything. We as the American people will stand up to this Trump, and we believe as American people.
White people, if you don't let them take over, we'll be all right. Is that what you just said?
American people, no, all of us are American people. If you live in America and you are an American citizen and you are rooting against America, then are you really an American? Do you want America to fail or do you want America to succeed?
So basically, it's more of a re-elect the president because he is America and he's already there.
We are the American people, and we have to stand together as the American people. If you are against the American people, then why are you on this stage?
I think that's a fallacy in logic. I just can't remember which one that was.
Well, I'm just telling you. He spoke to the American people.
Isn't that a circular argument?
What I'm suggesting is Mike Pence stayed on message. He did not answer a question, and but what he presented was civility. See, I don't think that white folks need much from white folks.
Right.
Right? Like white folks he don't have to remember Chris Rock, I'm the super entertainer, I make millions of dollars, I live next door to a white dentist. Right?
Right.
Mike Pence is the white dentist next door that lives next door to Chris Rock, the superstar celebrity. And given the choice, and why I thought this was so important is because I think that Americans, with Joe Biden, especially with Joe Biden, there is the potential that he may not make it through the presidency. Right? Like there is an actual thought. There are people who think that, first of all, these are both the two oldest candidates in the history of the presidency. Right? Now,
how old is Mike Pence?
I don't know how old Mike Pence is. Google it.
Didn't you just say that Mike Pence was did you say Mike
Trump.
Pence would make? Oh, Trump. Oh.
That's why I said this was the most
Pence
consequential.
is 61.
Pence is 61. So
he's still young.
Right. But I feel like this is the most consequential race because right now the president currently has COVID-19. Yeah. If you look at, and if he were to be like any other senior citizen, he could potentially pass. His mortality, whether he has it or not, is being presented to us. And in the event that he dies, does America pass? Do the American people pass the baton comfortably to Mike Pence, who presents a stable, unflappable, the fly landed on his head, he didn't move, and he's Grandpa Mike.
Yeah, I think you were right, Maze. We got to be careful about the lady with the hat, the thing on her hair, handmaiden.
Okay, right, but again, that is something that we in liberal Democratic Chicago, New York, and LA believe. Now we talking about we aren't the people to determine who wins. Me and Carrie were talking about this. Who convinced more people? I would say neither party convinced anybody. I think everybody is anchored in concrete. There's a sliver. My man just told me it's 2% of people are undecided. Now, I think you got white women in the mix. We heard Martha Raddatz and Cecilia Vega both say, one, You don't deserve any extra special protection from Grandpa Mike, who we all think is a flaming racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you do not get any special protection. So what he said, so what he stepped on your feelings. We are white people first.
Right.
You do not get special protection. You want to be the president, you got to stand up to him. Take a punch.
Right.
That's who you're counting on. They already told you they wishy-washy right there.
Mm-hmm.
On national TV, on the liberal. Now, Joe Biden, in my estimation, while Trump's mortality is real because of COVID, but he presents, and I think his
like in the moment.
Yes, but he presents as a strong man. Like, that's why he rips the mask off. That's why he walks up the steps and he says that I will fight the demon.
Bravado.
Right?
But yes, I get you.
Compared to Joe Biden, who they already have painted into a corner as hiding in the basement, Joe slow, and Joe then wants to see the little girls dance and the black woman, and he still keeps flubbing. So now...
Joe sounds like your grandpa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his mortality is real.
Yeah.
Physically, visibly.
Yeah, visibly.
Right? He visibly looks like he might not go another 4 years at the president. Think about what a presidential picture looks like when they show how you age from the beginning to the end. Now start where Joe Biden is.
Right. You always start out like you're a young middle.
Exactly.
And then at the end you're like, wow, that guy's old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now time lapse him. So now you got to look at this. White folks are looking at TV saying, see, Todd, you see where I'm going here?
Yeah, that's why I stopped talking.
So now you got Grandpa Mike versus Kamala. And white America is looking to make a decision as to which way the country's going to go. Now, put Kamala Harris in the space of, are we going to vote for the browning of America? Or are we going to vote for Grandpa Mike, who going to keep us safe? Who, Grandpa Mike, he don't mean no harm. Remember when I told you I went to the Cubs game? And they was calling me all types of names, and the white people was like, they're just, don't pay attention to those guys. You're tougher than that.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's almost like, well, that's okay. Don't just ignore it.
Cause white women got Grandpa Mike at their house.
Right.
They not scared of him.
Yeah, it's part of their culture.
Okay, now let's go to Mike Pence. Sonia, what clip you got for me for Mike Pence? Let me hear it.
This presumption that you hear consistently from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that America is systemically racist, and that, as Joe Biden said, that he believes that law enforcement has an implicit bias against minorities, is a great insult to the men and women who serve in law enforcement. And I want everyone to know, who puts on the uniform of law enforcement every day, that President Trump and I stand with you. Senator Harris conveniently omitted, after the president made comments about people on either side of the debate over monuments, he condemned the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists, and has done so repeatedly. You're concerned that he doesn't condemn neo-Nazis. President Trump has Jewish grandchildren. His daughter and son-in-law are Jewish. This is a president who respects and cherishes all of the American people. But you talk about having personally prosecuted. I'm glad you brought up your record, Senator.
Thank you.
I really need to make this point. When you were DA in San Francisco, when you left office, African Americans were 19 times more likely to be prosecuted for minor drug offenses than whites and Hispanics. When you were Attorney General of California, you increased the disproportionate incarceration of blacks in California. Yeah. You did nothing on criminal justice reform in California. You didn't lift a finger to pass the First Step Act on Capitol Hill. I mean, the reality is your record speaks for itself. President Trump and I have fought for criminal justice reform.
Thank you, Vice President.
We fought for educational choice and opportunities for African Americans, all of our members.
Thank you, sir.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President on what it means to enforce the laws of our country. I am the only one on this stage who was personally prosecuted.
More black people than any other attorney general in the history of California.
No, but she's got a point. But Pence showed that he was just as rude as Trump, as he. Cause I've seen a ton of I turn, but I watch a lot of debates, and in the end, the moderator always tells you, okay, your time's up, and then you go on and you finish your thought out. But in this instance, he didn't finish his thought out. He added like 5 more thoughts. He was like, I don't care what you say. I'm going to speak for another minute.
You know what? And it's so funny that you would bring that up because I am going to go back to the clip that I had before because I think that there was dag nabbit. Hold on.
That was Mays that time. That wasn't me.
That was not Todd this time. That was not Todd this time. But what I do want to do is go back to the clip. Let me see if I can. All right, let me see if I can give you the audio from the clip because, again, Todd, your point was that Pence was rude, right?
Not that I think. Not that I think anybody's gonna care.
Right, that Pence was rude, and this is my point about Grandpa Mike. Kamala did get kind of the moderator got ran over. And you are saying that he proved that he was as rude as Trump. Here is what the white woman said.
Mansplaining and talk about these things with Kamala Harris, and a man shouldn't interrupt her, and it's going to look bad. Kamala Harris is a vice presidential candidate. She should be able to stand up for herself. Yes, it's history making. Yes, you can talk about her history and who she is, and she's a woman of color there. But a man can interrupt another vice presidential candidate. It is up to that candidate to talk back, to interrupt themselves, or to hold on to that debate in any way they could.
The remarkable split screen that we saw and some of the facial expressions that Kamala Harris had as Vice President Mike Pence was talking. I mean, that really is going to be a big takeaway. I also want to go back to
white women, pretty tricky, It's tricky. It's tricky. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Hi, I'm Dr. Willie Wilson. People in Illinois have been crying out for justice, equality, and fairness from their government for years. And it keeps getting worse. Unfair taxes, laws that unjustly imprison nonviolent offenders. The rich get richer, and the everyday people suffer. It's time for a change, and with your help, I'm here to do it. I'm asking for your support as I run for U.S. Senator in 2020.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
Funeral expenses are costly. The Casket Store wants to help you save hundreds of dollars. You do not have to purchase a casket from the funeral home. Call now for a free in-home consultation. Call 773-445-6900. 773-445-6900.
WIFTBPM.
I think that the black community is starting to realize the mayor may not necessarily be an ally just because she is black.
Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio.
Our representatives don't necessarily get a pass just because they're black. We've got a challenge in the black part of Chicago of holding black politicians accountable.
You're listening to The Mays Jackson Show.
This is Chicago, so I understand the Chicago way. I ask every day what's in it for the black people.
With Mays Jackson.
Come on, y'all.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger. Hey, y'all. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. I want to know what your thoughts were on the vice presidential debate. I'm still going to maintain that it was white people are literally being presented with the choice of will they vote for the Browning of America versus Grandpa Mike. Because again, I think one of the key most telling points was neither candidate answered their question about succession. and what role. And I for Kamala, it's very important in my estimation that she does not make that forefront to white folks. Because here's what I do. I think what one of the challenges that black folks don't understand is self-preservation. We are willing to vote for our demise. We are willing to vote to share our power. In the case of white, when you heard Martha Raddatz say, Todd, the first thing you took from that was how Pence was rude.
That's what I saw.
Right? But you know who Martha Raddatz represents the woman in Naperville that y'all counting on right now. And
so basically you said the Democrats are going to lose.
No, I'm saying that if it's coming down to the black vote and white women,
I don't think I've ever seen white women actually come through for the liberal side.
Well, they did in the case of this last election. They're counting on that for this last election. But I think that they survived Trump. I don't know if I can emphasize enough this whole concept of the browning of America from a Frances Cress Welsing standpoint. Frances Cress Welsing, self-preservation. And if you are white and you look at Doug Ibenhall and Kamala Harris.
Who's Doug Ibenhall?
Her husband.
Uh-huh.
If you're a black man and you're looking at that, is that our future? If you are a white man looking at that, you might be like, I could deal with that. But if you're a white woman...
Hey, are you looking at the commercials that come on there nowadays?
Well, I'm saying, but if you're a white woman, are you voting to give the Doug Ibenhalls to the Kamala Harrises of the world?
What an interesting take.
I'm just asking. I remember it's not what you want people to hear, but how they receive it.
True.
Martha Raddatz, the first thing you as a who is the most unprotected? I'm gonna give Kamala her black girl magic. Do white women acknowledge black girl magic?
I don't think so.
How many of the white women that were at the pink coochie cat hat march voted for Trump? 51% of white women voted for Trump, so 1 in 2. Let's go to the live line. Mama D, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Mama D? Hello?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mama D here. I think white women cannot be trusted. Remember, they sold up the Ku Klux Klan uniform that their husbands wore, and they took the children and the whole family, made it a family affair. Mm-hmm. They wanted a white woman to be president. But when it comes to some immigrant woman, and they didn't talk about immigration. And when they that announcer, see, it's the questions that was asked that was wrong in my explanation. But they said the hardest hit was Latinos and blacks. They didn't say blacks and Latinos. They put Latinas up there, and she didn't say nothing about the people living in cages and didn't bring up immigration at all. And that was a key family when they want to make open borders and let everybody break into the country if they feel like it. So that white woman is not to be trusted. And I want to know, why didn't they bring up anything about immigration?
Because they can't afford... So I would tell you that they can't bring up immigration because it opens up the Kamala Harris immigration issue in the black community. They got to stay away. That's the third rail. You got to stay away from that. Like, honestly, you cannot. The third rail for Kamala right now is essentially the reignition of this black brown people of color. Did you notice that she did? Did you notice that she went from women of color to black to women of color back to black? I think she's navigating that space, and they've got a lot of minefields to get through. I think the most telling, if we could have found her response to Mike Pence, calling her out of, they have never figured out an answer to her record on criminal justice. They have hoped that it will go away. They have hoped and wished it away, and there's so many people who say shut up and just go ahead. It's funny to see people who that were formerly incarcerated as you're making that statement, as you telling you how much you care about having the formerly incarcerated come vote. It's like a juxtaposition. Because yesterday, I'm going to read another comment that I got yesterday. After Mike Pence spoke on Kamala Harris's position or locking up so many people in California, this was a comment on my timeline. Innocent black men or criminals that happen to be black men. Truth is, if any person refuses to prosecute criminals, it's a dereliction of duty. What say you? And then I responded, so then what happened in the case of Jamel Roberson? Right? What happened to all of the times that black people were killed and they were not prosecuted? I am concerned that we are willing to we were willing to throw criminal justice reform to the curb in an effort to beat someone who hasn't clearly defined what they did. Can I just say this with Kamala Harris on criminal justice? And I don't know if we've heard from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, them saying that it was wrong. I could have done a better job. I wish I apologize. I would tell you that there are so many.
I think I heard one prosecutor, and I can't remember who it was, apologize for anything.
I got you. So
I'm not. This isn't defense of her. I'm just saying. I've never seen that ever.
And so Kamala, who you want to sell to me as us as on the team, is telling me that she won't be any different than any other freaking prosecutor, whether it was Anita Alvarez or her. That's what you're saying, essentially. And for me, whether it was Joe Biden, who, again, in a world where there is video, and we watched The Social Experiment, and they're feeding right now into the black community all of those speeches of Joe Biden into the community. It might just behoove them to say, yo, we did that was wrong. When you see the curve, remember when I told you black women were more likely to be, the most likely in the country to be married up until 1970? Well, you blame that on Nixon, right? And the curve starts to grow. But then when you look at the curve and you see it take off and they're going in divergent paths, is after the crime bill. Right? And to know that Kamala Harris has locked so many people up, or has, again, video, all types of stuff out here, at some point you got to say, yo, we did things differently back then. We had a different method and we've learned. It's almost like the Madigan thing to me. We have a 40-year record to see you were a failure. Realistically, you have failed. 30 years later, looking at all the decisions you made, the state is screwed. But what we will do is protect, instead of even expecting him to say like, yo, no, just vote for me again and give me the scare tax. No, like, you have made no fundamental change at all. You're protecting when you were wrong. Not when you were right, But the whole world is on criminal justice reform. JB just trying to rehabilitate the fact that he stole all the cannabis money by coming up with some more criminal justice reform. I'm tired of microwave criminal justice reform. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. AM 1570, WBGX Harvey, Chicago.
WIFTV-PM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Are you curious to explore the intellectual currents that channel our thoughts and frame our reality? Have you ever meditated for relaxation and accidentally discovered the universe in the process?
For high-quality
These matters and
emojis,
many more you may never have even thought of will be yours to explore as you come with me into Muwakil's world. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1. Right here on What's in It for the Black People
Blackmoji
Media.
D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence.
872-259-7474. That's
Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a
Give us a call
curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Every man, woman, and child in the state of Illinois. A vote for me is a vote for you.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for Senate 2020.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to last, can't doze no more. I told y'all this, that dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies of the politicians. We need money, no symbolism. It's Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' start. They ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressor to solve them.
What's in it for the black people? All the lies we didn't heard before. Time to pay attention, you gotta do more than listen. Make some action with it on the count of 3. Let's go.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd, Stroger, waiting for Miss Ruthie Moore to come back from... I wonder if she go to South Africa to save the kids. Or she probably saving kids on the South Side.
What, you think she's Oprah?
You know what? Ruthie has got the opportunity to be the next Oprah. I got big plans for Ruthie, too. Wait till it's the Ruthie Moore Show.
Yes.
It's going to be energetic and powerful. She get a podcast.
It shouldn't be the Ruthie Moore Show. It should be the Ruthie Moore Show.
That's what I'm saying. The Ruthie Moore Show. Now I'm Ruthie Moore, right. Hey, shout out to Sonia Escobar in the building as well. You know what? Check this out.
The power behind the power?
Yes.
She's the power behind the power.
She got that music going. You know what? Let me do this real quick. I have never had expectations. I gotta say this one more time. The reason we get nothing is because we place our expectations in the people who have no investment in us. It's interesting to me that we have no moral compass, we black folks have no bottom. Right? Once they tell us to get on the bus, we just get on the bus.
And grab a t-shirt.
And grab a t-shirt. Now, criminal justice reform, we all agree, whether there was crack or not, that the crime bill negatively impacted us.
Well, I look at it the other way. Crime negatively impacted us.
Okay. So I was having this conversation yesterday with Salim yesterday. Do you think the crime bill was overt, or was it racist?
No, I think the economic policies are racist.
So the crime bill that put people with crack in jail for 3 to 5 times longer.
No, that's not actually the crime bill. That's the bill from 1986 that passed when Len Bias died.
Which one was that?
I forgot what they called that.
Okay. When you look at that map, Todd, when you look at that graph, it is clear that Joe Biden started in a different place than he ended up. Yes.
Oh, Joe Biden was all white America, like nobody's business when he started. Yes.
At what point did that change?
I think he changed with the nation. I was just thinking about this. You remember when Roland Burris ran for governor? That would be what, 2008?
Yep.
Yeah. That's when the nation started changing, in my opinion, because before that, prosecutors, attorney generals seemed to have an easy step to move up the ladder and become governors and such. And Roland Burris was in that first kind of class of attorney generals who started to lose when people started rethinking this whole everybody's got to go to jail thing.
Okay. People evolve. I think people evolve over time. Part of what you see here on this show is the evolution over time. You can watch my evolution. You can watch Todd's evolution. You can watch Sonia, Ruthie, but there's evolution over time.
Yes.
And your learnings then become your North Star. Black people, in my estimation, do not have a North Star. We have nothing that we will not compromise. There is not one point, like literally, you got a video of the guy saying, I don't want my kids around y'all kids. As recently as President Obama, before he was the vice presidential nominee, we was calling him a racist because he was like, he's an articulate, clean. Remember all of this? At some point, in my estimation, there has to be look, I'm not proud of everything I did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. You know what? I back some people, places, and things that right now, if my grandchildren were to know, they would probably call me a racist. I am not that person. I don't know. But I don't see any attempt to make amends with the community that you need to deliver you. And people talk about code. I just don't want black people to be disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, I'm undecided because, man, you ain't even said I'm sorry. I took your daddies. I was part of it. I led the charge. I was part of the Super Predator. It's the same thing I was part of the Super Predator crew. I'm not that person anymore. It is, we have no bottom. It's just like everybody lined up for JB. And we still haven't seen the reciprocity from that.
I don't know. I thought Biden had said something. I mean, maybe not quite the way you put it. I thought I saw him.
Did he say he believes in people of color in disadvantaged communities? Did he do like the skirt around? Because I'm just suggesting.
I'm sure it was people of color.
So let's right again. People of color. We know how people of color. Again, we have no bottom.
Well, I would suggest people say people of color because they're talking to the times right now. That is what people want to hear.
That's what makes white people comfortable. There is a whole recognition in our. That's why it's such a big deal to say Black Lives Matter.
It's everybody but black people.
But I'm saying, okay. I'm saying that that's why they demand you. He won't even say Black Lives Matter. Shoot. We won't say Black Lives Matter. We won't say black. Not when it comes to a policy.
No, we don't.
And we don't demand anybody. So what they're going to do is.
But part of that is because of the court system. That's what we always. So everybody wants to be like, oh, Trump don't matter. Yeah, Trump matters.
What?
I'm speaking.
Thank you.
I saw that coming. That's why I spoke faster.
No, we have no bottom. We just have no bottom. We will accept an apology. They didn't enslave people of color. We will accept the apology of people of color, and we have no bottom.
No, we have lost so many battles that the war that we're still, because I think
we have lost so many battles.
We are still, there's at least a group of us who are still fighting that same battle, but we have lost it, and we lost it actually literally in 1988. Yeah, we didn't lose we lost that battle, and it changed how the war was fought.
I just think we have no bottom. We have no bottom. We are the chick at the bar who you don't even have to buy a beer to take home. That's how I see it. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to the caller. Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
I disavow that whole thing that he said about chicks and bars. That's all I got to say.
I just need to make it metaphorically graphic for you.
I see.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Caller? We heard you, caller. You said good morning.
Yes, good morning, Maze Jackson Show.
Good morning.
Todd, Sonia, and Ruthie, wherever you are. I am Zaviola Coleman. Maze, you called my name on yesterday.
And I called the wrong
me
person.
Out, my brother.
I'm so
I thought
sorry.
You were recognizing me for giving stars. You called my name. You went somewhere. I don't mind a call out or a shout out for what I said, but it was not my commentary. I responded to a comment with an inquiry. So I'm defending myself, my name, my brother. I say what I said, but it was not what I said.
So hold on.
Actually, since I said I was coming on Senator Kamala Harris, I felt that she held her own with all the double standards, centered on her staying in her place, not appearing to be too black girl magic. She had her points, of course, with the COVID. And excuse me, I'm talking, and her smiles that actually said, you can't really be talking to me. All considered, she did fine with VP Pence voiding everything, all the direct questions in his monotone. I voted on yesterday. I voted early. You said my name, Maze. So, you gave me some what? Zaviola Cole. I'm like, it's me.
Hold on. So let me do this. I want to make sure that I do this on air. First of all, There's a Zaviola Coleman, which is you, and I 100% appreciate all of your support and all of the stars all of the time, and thank you. I mixed you up with the other Z lady who I will not name on air and give the props, and I want to apologize because I saw a comment and you were responding to somebody else, but I was responding to something else, and sometimes with these comments they're going fast, but they're 2 minutes behind on our page. I'm looking at something else. So I want to apologize publicly as well as tell you thank you for always supporting us. Did I lose her? Okay. You there? Uh-oh. Okay. Let's go to you know what? Let's do this. Let's go to the live line. Frank, you on the live line. What's up, my brother? Frank?
Good morning, brother.
Good morning, Frank. We got to give you.
We
good, man. We got to give you a spot on the show, man. We just got to give you a guest spot.
I would love that. Don't tease me now. I would love it. It would be an honor. Brother Todd, let me first say happy anniversary, my brother.
Thank you, Frank.
I wish the vast majority of our black brothers can experience what you experienced, a silver anniversary. Oh, and Brother Mays, right quick, that was Lloyd Benson that was debating Dan Quayle back in 1988 when that statement was made about Jack Kennedy.
Got it.
Okay.
You, sir, are no Jack Kennedy.
Lloyd Benson. Yeah, let me say, I liked his debates last night. I think Kamala she did win. I believe with what you were saying, Mays Jackson, in regards to her weakness as far as defending what she did in becoming the criminal justice and crime. Okay, but see, they haven't got that figured out. And it's easy. Just think it this way. All her and Joe Biden got to do is flip that on Republican. When they attack them about, you know what I'm saying, being soft on crime, flip it. Say, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to go back into my past and criticize us for imposing law and order. And it's the same kind of law and order that you want to bring back, which is this mentality of get them in which way you can, even if you got to cheat, especially that black and brown. Well, we discovered that's wrong. Okay, so you can't say one thing on one side of the market and then criticize us for imposing law and order. You are a hypocrite. All right? You want to bring that right back, just like you want to bring back stock and frisk to be legal, and we all know what a disaster that was. So they just need to flip it on them. What do you think about that, Mayor Jackson? Because that's what I think they need to do, and you're right. They haven't figured out how to answer that. Flip it on them. You're going to accuse us of not being for law and order, then criticize us for the law and order imposing? Give me a break. Just flip it on them. What do you think, Maze?
You know what, man? This is what I think. I'm not sure what I think about that, Todd. What do you think?
Dang. You can't be throwing the ball to me like that.
I wasn't ready for the pass. Let's do this. Let's regroup. Let's recirculate, and we'll be back right after these messages.
Right.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, or you can find them online at solobeauty.com.
You can hang out with Chicago famous Mike Love and Diz 3 to 6 p.m. right here on What's In It for the Black People Media live on the Maze Jackson page. So shout out to Chicago famous. They did their thing. They did a phenomenal job. Those brothers, listen, radio legends, right? And you come in and you used to doing things one way and trying to flip it and do another way. They handled it seamlessly, man. So shout out to Mike Love and Diz for holding it down as they always have done. Welcome to the What's In It for the Black People Media family. Good luck at achieving number 2 status for the second best show on What's In It for the Black People Media, because number 1 is and always will be, I said what I said.
Always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Whenever I play, I want to play to win. I don't see no purpose in playing.
You play to win the game.
What's the word?
In the famous
Can
words,
you beat my ass, though?
Can you whoop my ass, though?
It's really that simple. I don't plan on getting my ass whooped.
Hey, yo, wait a minute. Hey.
Chicago famous, they can whoop my ass.
And Chicago
we
famous.
We're not here for no ass whoop.
Hey, yo, what's your problem, man? Y'all are brothers. You ain't supposed to be fighting each other.
We're not here for no ass whoop.
That's not what we're here for.
We're not here for no ass whoop.
It's not what we're here for.
Not at all.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Tucson Warner and Herb Howard live on What's In It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. What's up, Todd? You over there cracking up on your timeline. What's going on, man?
It was about you, so I'm not gonna.
Uh-oh, somebody has something to say about me? You know
No, you commented. You responded to a comment.
I responded to a comment. Oh, I would make them famous, right? I do have an ego. I got a big ego. I do. The ego, I would suggest this. Because I'm going to go ahead and just hit that real quick. Then we're going to go to the call line. I do have a big ego. And the ego is that I won't be stopped. Period. And quite frankly, y'all so used to black people, black men who walk around with their heads down, who refuse to look white men in the eyes and say, no, I'm not going.
Oh, man, I don't know nobody like that.
Oh, shoot. No, let me tell you what. Negroes get to grinning and agreeing against their own self-interest. There is absolutely no argument to tell me why I need to be on anybody's team until I walk into the voting booth. And let me tell you about ego is when you call people stupid for questioning their own self-interest. That's stupid. That's ego. That's when you think you so smart that you don't understand your own self-interest. You ain't even getting your people a better deal. As a matter of fact, you're selling your people on scare tactics instead of tangible outcomes. So let's be clear. We don't always have to agree, but because we don't agree does not mean that we are somebody getting paid. Somebody is a shill. Somebody got their own mind. That's where they get you. That's where they get us all the time. They can say, "Oh, this Negro took some money from somebody." No, he's thinking about the whole picture. And if all y'all is over here saying, "Yes, we don't care," if she don't have to give you a tangible answer on criminal justice reform, when you getting the answer? If you're not going to ask during the campaign, how's it worked out? We same people. Man,
oh yeah, if you don't ask now.
If you don't ask now, right, if you don't ask now, who's listening? When does the vice president count in any administration after the election?
They don't.
But yet and still, the smartest among us tell us to negotiate against our self-interest. I got an ego. I got a black ego. I got an ego for black people. I expect that we deserve more. And I'll look anybody in the eye and say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a mushmouth Negro that when you say something, I'm going to back up into a corner. That's what they're used to. Don't play with me. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Let me go to the phone lines. Brian, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Brian?
Yeah, I'm here, Maze. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man, so that whole idea about flipping the narrative just so you could win the debate or win the election, I mean, it would be a plausible strategy, right, to put them back on their heels on that one particular subject. But at the end of the day, like you always scream, what's in it for the black people? As black people, we still won't win with that because the Dems have no real plan. They have nothing for us, as well as Donald Trump have nothing for us. So unless we get something for our vote, like you said, I'm not putting on that T-shirt. I'm not getting on the bus and just blindly going with y'all, man. You're going to have to do something.
And don't give me, and thank you, brother. Thank you, Brian. The smartest among us convince us that we shouldn't ask questions. Look, and then we be mad we got a sanctuary city. You don't ask questions and they keep rolling you. And then when the only time you got leverage, and the only time you got leverage is in an election. And the smartest among you convince you to negotiate against yourself? That's your plan? That's why we can have philosophical discussions about politics, or we can talk about politics on how they really work. And that is our fundamental issue. It's like the fundamental issue is we looking for some emotional satisfaction, not understanding what the game is. When I tell you that them white folks are looking at Grandpa Mike, when they looking at this moment, you need to have a much better answer than who are you to tell me and snap your neck? You playing for all the marbles, and you know that there is an open wound in the black community that she has, and y'all not even trying to patch it. And it's like this right here to me is exactly why we lose. Exactly. Because we misinterpret, we want to call it ego, when it's like, fam, you never been there. I've been down that bridge, as Joe Biden say, there's oppression down there. And the challenge that we face at this point in this moment is, do y'all realize Derek Chauvin got out yesterday? Derek Chauvin?
Yep, saw that in the news.
Derek Chauvin got out yesterday. George Floyd, remember the whole uprisings? Nobody.
But he didn't get out for free. They had to, what was it like?
He had to pay $100,000. No, it was $1 million.
$1 million.
And he had $100,000 bail.
That's a lot of money.
Until you kill a black person and become the hero of white supremacy.
You mean they paid for it?
We don't know. Anonymous donor paid it. You know what the hell that means.
Yeah.
Now, right now, nothing has changed. I asked you yesterday, what black issue has been substantively addressed during this campaign cycle, and nobody could come up with nothing? Nothing. And then these Negroes on here telling you, because you asking, like, because we ain't demanding. We ain't demanding nothing. We aren't demanding anybody do anything. You castigating your brother who's standing up in the fight. You must recognize your self-interest. Black folks have no bottom. We have no bottom. We have no standard. We don't have one uniform thing that we have no insult level. None. Absolutely none.
And what we don't have is organization. We got a whole bunch of Indians, but nobody wants to have a chief. And when you don't have a chief who says, okay, we're going to make a plan, and let's get together and make it, then you end up with what you got.
Then you become the crab. Because the people who ain't never been in the space want to make the plan based on philosophical instead of practical.
And nobody wants to have a leader. Man, he ain't no better than me. Why should I listen to him?
Exactly. But you make sure you tune in every morning. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We're going to continue this conversation when we come back.
Call in and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. That's 872-259-7474. Give us a call and say it with your chest. 872-259-7474. The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty... Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Week events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Week members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Week letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Stroger, Miss Ruthie Moore out saving the kids. Miss Sonia Escobar running the wheels of steel. Hey y'all, 9:30 today. Check me out on Fox 32 Live. Now you got to do it simulcast. You got to do simultaneous because you got to watch the Book of Dawn. But at 9:30, I will be giving my recap. You like that? See how crispy that paper is? I will be giving my recap of the presidential debates. I mean, the vice presidential debates. I'll be honest with you. I think that it was a case of do no harm as it relates to the presidential candidates. But I do think if you are, as my man Jay-Z says, I'm not looking at you dudes, I'm looking past you. I think what we also got to see was the future of America on display. The fact of the matter is both of them going into the, what would that be, the 2024 election would automatically go in as top contenders, no matter who wins, right?
I would think so.
So if Joe wins, then Kamala as the vice president would probably ascend or would be planning on running. Same way with Grandpa Mike, right? And either one who loses is gonna probably be the front runner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess my question now becomes, what did America see? Let's go to the live lines. We got callers. Let's start with Janice. Janice, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Janice, I can hear you. Hello?
Hello? Are you speaking to me? I'm sorry about that.
Yes.
I want to say no one mentioned choice when he was talking about choice in schools. Kamala went over that. She didn't ignore it because the unions own the Democratic Party, not the poor blacks. And I'd like to say another thing. What about those 28,000 blacks who couldn't go back to school because under the Obama and Biden administration, they changed the financial aid guideline?
What are you, a Trump supporter? What are you asking about your own self-interest? What Janice?
No, I'm not voting for either one of them. But choice in schools, I saw the difference because I was transferred from an all-black school to an all-white high school, and I saw they had a lot of things that we didn't have. And one day my sister went to Sam's Club, and she bought all these books from 1st through 8th grade. And she had gone away to Tuskegee. She said, we weren't taught this way. We had to struggle later on, and my mother was the best teacher out, my older sister. I'm not supporting either one of them, but I'm saying our kids need a chance. You could afford private schools for your children. Todd attended private schools. How many other blacks didn't get that chance? A friend of mine got down on me one time on Emerge magazine. They had Cornel West on there. He said, what is all that fur on his face proving? He said, Jan, don't you remember how the teachers used to laugh at us, and when kids really tried, they would let the other kids laugh at them? He said, why are you for affirmative action now? You didn't know about it when you were going to school, and I'm 63. So what I'm saying is this. We got to think about the young kids coming behind us. It's not about me. It's about our children.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Janice, let me ask you, first of all, thank you for calling. Let me ask you another question. So you're not voting for, are you voting beyond that, though?
I'm going there voting for is Willie Wilson.
Thank you very much.
Then I'm not voting for Kim Fox because I don't like how she did that family from Robbins. I'm from the Robbins area.
Oh.
I don't like that. And I also don't like how I told a friend of mine, because I went to school in Oklahoma and they used to throw bricks at us. I said, there's nowhere in the world. When they put that noose around his leg, he wouldn't have lived to tell the story. And why did he get more credit than the poor black girl who was working at Home Depot?
Wait.
They wanted her to pay a two.
Wait, what story is this?
There was a young black girl who's working at the Home Depot. And she told the story, same thing Jesse Sparnett did, or whatever his name is. And do you know what they did? They charged her a fee and said she had to get her GED. I could understand the GED, but $2,800 might as well be $1 million to her. And she came on TV, and when she campaigned for the other gentleman, they got mad with her as a black person. That's like I like Alice, the Alice you had on your show, Alice Johnson. Because you know what Miss Johnson did? She's standing up for those young people and older people like in jail for things. But we give Mr. Biden a walk. When his son had a drug problem, he didn't go to jail. He got the help he needed, like other people needed help. And he's not saying he's sorry. I'm going to do everything I can when I get in here with Obama to help these people. No. So I'm 63 now. I used to buy into that con game. But I realized when I hit 40, these people's kids got good jobs and they were going to private schools or they chose their teachers. I worked at a university where I said, look, Manfred Bird's kids go to public school. And one of my friends said, you're very naive. Anybody who got their kid in a public school in a position of authority choose their kids' teachers. They don't go in there not choosing. And they taught me because I was innocent. I believe when these people get before the microphone, they had our best interests at heart. Now, you got to look behind the door. At least what Alice Johnson said, she made a promise before she stepped out of that jail that she was going to get as many as she could out who were involved in those drugs and things. And I've never drank in my life and never smoked. But I respect her for coming to you honestly and saying this is the only thing I'm fighting for. I'll see you later, May. Sorry I went crazy.
No,
Bye-bye.
Janice, no. I thank you for your call. That was a really. I appreciate the call. Let me go to John.
Wait. Hey, Brother Patat, I didn't have a silver spoon. We were very middle class. That spoon is bronze.
I think we don't even know what a silver spoon is. I think that we
we haven't been close enough to one.
That's so funny to me. It's like white people average is enough to make black people mad at you. Right? Like white people average. Just the whole concept of two parents in the house going to work every day. And going to work and working regardless. In some spaces will make you appear as though you better than make people try to paint you as your no, bro.
When I was an adult, my mother told me the story just like 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure I might have been about 30. My mother said, Harold Washington was mayor. Your dad ran into Burke on the street, and Burke said, there's a lot of government work, and you could do it. You're a lawyer. You're smart. You work hard. And that's when he actually started making a little bit of real money.
And the challenge.
When I say real money, that's the kind of money that you just don't get, and then you have to pay for all your kids' stuff.
Right. Well, and the other part is, can I just suggest that it's a sacrifice to send my kids to private school?
You ain't lying.
I mean, it's a real sacrifice, and it really depends on where you're going to place your priorities. Right.
That's it.
Like it really depends on when you decide to send your child to private school. We ain't rich black folks. It means that I can't do this, this, and this. It means that I ain't going on the vacations that I wanted to go on. It means that I don't go and eat out at the places that I would normally eat out. I mean, I think you think about
I love Boston Market.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to the Chop House or nothing.
Yeah, so
I had to make a budget, right?
Yeah, so my challenge right now is it's like we don't even know what we don't even have a concept of what wealth is. It's so crazy to me because if we knew what was on the other side of the door, we'll be like, dang, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ain't nobody I know. I have only met one black person, one in my life, that is equally as, that white people be like, oh, I'm not better than him. There's only one black person in my entire life that I have met that white folks don't think they're better than. And it's funny because it's like, and he makes sure that they know that you ain't treating me no different. And it's unfortunate to me that so many of us have never seen the basics. Like just what you calling silver spoon is literally the ground floor for white folks.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is our middle class wealth is usually job based.
Exactly.
It's job based. It's like we ain't creating the wealth. It's just like that white boy the other day. Yesterday was like, oh no, you will. Are you an ex offender? I'll give you a job. I'll even hire your cleaning company.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, you want that nigga doing on that nag? You want some money? You wait. You want to be treated like an equal?
Right. That's what it boiled down.
Oh no, you got me confused. Let's go to the live line. Let me go to Johnny. Johnny on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hey, first of all, those microphones sound fantastic.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
You can hear the money you spent. You can hear and see that money. But, the last caller, Maze and Todd, what you guys just said, I mean, an open source kind of education is what you're advocating for. And this is, I went to lab school. I have no, so, it's just I won't go off on that tangent. My call was for everywhere we see a Willie Wilson sign, it is a shitoli. Remember when you used that word a couple of years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. And so there are a couple of websites, Maze, and I'm going to reach out to you. One is called the Shitoli Challenge, and the other one is just cleantheshy.com. They're both .coms, but now one thing we can do is at least get, I drew the environmental straw and the educational straw. A few of us got together, and it's above me now because once the WordPress community is in it, literally it's above me. They want to help, and so now, we're going to reach out to you, but, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, what are the demands, Maze? We walk. My wife and I walk physically, not in a car, walk, and document this. It's egregious, and there's some time they put in a plug-in for freshness. You'll see stuff that's months old, Maze. So, that's one thing you notice. Everywhere you see a Willie Wilson sign, it is a pile of shitoli. So, I mean, both parties need to rise to that challenge.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hello?
Johnny, I'm with you, man.
This is serious. It's off the wall. And again, when the WordPress community is looking at this, it's above me.
Man, we got to connect with that. We need to connect, Johnny. Yeah, and when we connect, bring my ribs. Hey, go to the next. Thanks, man. Appreciate you calling. Next caller. David, you're on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hello.
David, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great, thanks.
All right. I just wanted to, I support you. And Todd, I'm glad y'all standing up and not being filtered. And I just want to give you guys some free T-shirts that I made. They're quid pro quo T-shirts.
Ooh.
I have a patent on the shirts, and I just want to give you guys a couple.
So you know what? If you do that, we're gonna be for part of our for Spirit Week that Dawn is putting together. We're gonna definitely do that. So look, we'll give you. Let me tell you, you can bring them to the office. Do me a favor, inbox me on Facebook, and I'll get you the information as to how you can get them, and we'll get you the sizes. But we appreciate that. What's that? You said quid pro quo? Shout out to Quid Pro Quo, man. And consider, as you put it out there, consider advertising with us as well. Hey, y'all. I'm starting to have a problem with black folks arguing against our own self-interests. Like that, the fact that we are not even supposed to ask about them. right? Like, you do you. You do you. Right? It's not... Kerry said last night, the way you determine who's going to win, who won the debate, is who convinced more people. So, for the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris supporters, not philosophically, but realistically, if you want your candidate to win, you might be trying to figure out ways to convince people. You can, in the 48 Laws of Power, it says you will never win an argument. You will never win an argument by getting
against a
loud.
woman. Oh, okay.
That too, by getting loud,
right?
Or
right.
with insults.
Well, I don't know about that. I know on the basketball court, the loud person, after a while, everybody like, all right, I just don't want to hear from you anymore.
That goes to Herb and Twos, though. Can you beat my? But let me also suggest that, and I feel like, what's his name? Mike Pence was baiting Kamala Harris, right? He was baiting her into that picture of the future. And I want for those of you that are in the political world or in this space and you're trying to get your candidate, whether it's Trump, whether it's Biden, to win, I would tell you, you should consider, especially when you post on my page.
That's funny because I thought he was more condescending.
Who?
Pence.
Yeah, because you were black. He wasn't trying to win you. He was talking to the white people who, just like Martha Raddatz said, she don't deserve no extra special. So so here, let me do this. So, because I want to help y'all, right? If you go to a place where there's 5,000 or 10,000 people, it's probably smarter to work on convincing those people to come to your side than trying to attack the person that they came to see. Right? Because essentially, you're not trying to convince me. You're trying to convince the 5,000 people that are watching your dumb ass comments. Right? So you can decide whether you want to win or lose. And you can call me every name in the book. But as you continue to argue against your own self-interest in a place where black people are starting to wake up, in a time when black people watched on TV as Darren Chauvin choked a black man out, and you're telling them that they're not even supposed to ask or get a question or even check on their self-interest, even as that white boy just got out of jail for $100,000. You're doing yourself and your candidate a disservice. I'm just telling you. It's like when I told you, if you knew you were getting dressed up every morning and you knew you were going to see in a room 5,000 people. Because I'll just say every time we post, this show reaches 5,000 people. And you knew that you had the opportunity to convince 5,000 people, win them or lose them, I would tell you I would not hire James Moore as my consultant. Because he'll lose more votes than he'll gain. Right? I think you all need to... You are so emotional that you have forgotten the game. And this is how I used to beat people all the time. In politics. I would so enrage them at me that they would forget that they were in a race against every... I don't have a vote. I only got one vote. But they would be so mad at me and trying to prove me that they would forget that there was a race to win.
I see that strategy.
Right? And so when you wake up to come to my space to try and beat me, you losing for you. You not hurting me. Because guess what? If you a top fan, that means that you are helping our ratings. Love me or hate me.
That's right. He said he liked to help anyway. But you know what I realized? It's not how many suits I have. I only have like 3 shirts I could wear.
See, that's why we got to
with a collar.
That's why we got to get us a clothing sponsor. Look, let me do this. Let me take a quick break. We only got 6 minutes. You just take it on out. We got any callers?
Oh, and Brother Patai, I know we just jab around the ring. I know if you threw a real haymaker, I'd probably fall down. So
Brother Patai be in the gym. He be lifting.
I know.
He be like,
yeah, he got muscles. I don't want to fool around with muscles. They get pulled and all that kind of
Brother
stuff.
Patai roll up on you. You'll be at McDonald's trying to get your grits. Brother Patai be right behind you. Like,
hey. If he mess with my grits, they may be a real fight.
Kiss my McMahon, kiss my grits. Remember Alice?
Yeah, I remember.
I used to love Alice and Flo. All right, y'all. This has been the Mace Jackson Show. I would tell you, so tune in to me today at 9:30 on Fox 32. I am going to be giving my recap, and I'm going to just tell you, I am not a Kamala fan, but I don't think she did any disservice. I do think you got to remember Grandpa Mike. And while I think that we have been sold on the fact that the vice presidential debates never matter, I want us to remember. I just want us to remember that we have to remember our self-interest in this process. Like what is in it for the black people? I am not sure that anybody has clearly articulated that. Maybe if they have, then somebody got to tell me. If we continue to make the choice and make the demand, Todd, you knew. Todd, when does anybody, if you can't get the promise during the campaign, what happens after the campaign?
If you can't keep your promise,
if you don't get them to make a promise during the campaign.
Yeah. If you can't get them to make a promise out loud before you vote for them, then don't expect anything when they get in.
I used to think about this. Hold on one second. So the one thing I always thought about with that is during the campaign, we used to always give candidates a phone, right? A campaign phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that phone, the candidate would always use it in public, and it would be like during the campaign, it'd be like, man, let me give you my cell phone. Don't worry about it, let me give you my cell. Don't you give it to nobody else, but let me give you my cell.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as the campaign was over, they changed the number.
Mm-hmm.
That is what.
Shoot, I know some campaigns they change the number during the campaign.
So understanding that, keep listening to foolish people that tell you to vote to wait until afterwards. You waited till afterwards. 8 years with Obama. What's the clip you got to play? Play the clip for me.
I'm here with my What's in It for the Black People family. Charleston, the Charleston 9, Ferguson, Trayvon Martin, Rakia Boyd, Laquan McDonald, Breonna Taylor. They're all names that we've heard in these last 8 to 10 years. Please tell us what will be the difference for Black America under a Biden-Harris administration.
Right. So, and we can continue to speak all those names, and the list is so much longer, including the names that the public doesn't know, but their families do. And so I've talked extensively with Joe about it, and we are absolutely dedicated to understanding that part of this issue is about speaking the truth about America's history and speaking the truth about the facts as they exist presently, and having the courage to speak that truth even when it makes people uncomfortable or when it may be politically unpopular. Joe has the courage to say Black Lives Matter. I promise you Donald Trump will never use that phrase. But the issue is that we need to address all of the disparities, all of the inequities, understanding the historical context, but understanding that the range of the issues are everything from public health to what we need to do in education and access and equitable educational opportunities, what we need to address in terms of the economy and access to capital, and of course what we need to do in the criminal justice system, including police reform. Right now, African Americans are getting COVID at 3 times the rate of white Americans and dying at over twice the rate of white Americans. The average white family has more than 6 times the wealth of the average black family in America today. And those are just some of the examples of the disparities. So in a Biden-Harris administration, we will invest in healthy communities because healthy communities are safe communities. And here's what I'm talking about. And it is essentially the interconnection between a lot of the issues I mentioned. So the reality of it is that if you go to any upper class suburb in America, you will not see the kind of police presence that you see in other communities, predominantly black or Latino communities. But what you will see in those upper class suburbs in America are well-financed public schools. You will see high rates of home ownership. You will see small businesses that have access to capital. You will see folks that have an ability to actually get a loan, and folks who have an ability to have access to health care, including mental health care, and it be affordable. So these are some of the issues that we need to address, and part of that is about what we plan to do around $150 billion in investment in communities around community banks and venture capital. $50 million of that money will go to that. What we will do is invest over $70 billion in HBCUs and minority-serving institutions to lower students' costs and build research centers and labs. We plan on addressing systemic racism in all of its forms, including the criminal justice system, and that means reforming policing and criminal justice systems, banning chokeholds and carotid holds, ending cash bail in private prisons, no incarceration for drug use alone, and a national use of force standard for police. These are some of the many details that I can share with you that are part of our agenda for what we need to do to address, again, systemic racism and inequity and inequality, and do it in a way where we as a country are also more organized and mobilized and focused on action in a way that we can actually meet this moment with outcomes as opposed to just grand gestures and lovely speeches. And I feel very strongly about that, and I know Joe does too.
I'm not sure. I don't know if she killed that question, actually. I heard a bunch of flowery stuff that we go for all the time. Substance, though, if you judge it on substance and outcomes, I would say not much. Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Check me out on Fox 32 today, 9:30 a.m. for my co-host, Todd Stroger, for Miss Sonia Escobar, for Ruthie Moore, who is out saving the children. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? If you don't like it, still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
WIFTV PM.